Welcome to Guinea-Bissau, a country of warm hospitality, vibrant culture, rich land, and yet much poverty. Guinea-Bissau is a small country situated on the west coast of Africa. It gained independence from Portugal in 1973, but it has been on a long road to development, set back by military coups, civil war, and many other challenges. Guinea-Bissau's economy runs on cashews. Almost 85% of the population is involved in the cashew industry in some way, and the industry accounts for about half of the national GDP. Unfortunately, up to 95% of Guinea-Bissau cashews are exported raw, mostly to India, where they are shelled, processed, and exported around the world for consumption. Not only is it wasteful to ship raw nuts around the world for processing, when 3/4 of their weight is in the shell, but Guinea-Bissau also loses out on a lot of potential income by not participating in this manufacturing process. Many have recognized that shelling and processing cashews in-country is an important business opportunity in a country that has almost no manufacturing or food processing industry. Some local entrepreneurs and NGOs have made efforts to start up cashew processing factories. Some have been successful, although most are still in the infant stages, still experimenting with how to run a profitable business and navigating the challenges of international export. Hi, I'm Andrew Stutzman and I work for Eastern Mennonite Missions. I'm standing here in a cashew orchard in a village called Cashew in northwest Guinea-Bissau, where we're working with local entrepreneurs to help them start up a successful cashew processing business. We believe that the development of the cashew industry in Guinea-Bissau can help to increase employment, stimulate economic growth, and reduce poverty, as we empower local entrepreneurs to utilize their country's greatest resource. At Eastern Mennonite Missions, we call this business for transformation. We empower local entrepreneurs and their employees to use what's available to them in order to create income that will provide for themselves and for their families. The business is also an arena for the local church members and the missionaries who are involved to live out their faith in the context of real life. We're faced with ethical decisions every day, and people notice how the decisions that we make and our lives are influenced by our faith. Come with me as we take a tour of our cashew processing business here in Cashew. Growers harvest their cashews from April to June. We buy most of our cashews locally here in our village. The first thing we do after purchasing the nuts is to sun dry them and then to store them. And then the manufacturing process begins by steaming the nuts. Our boiler is made from a locally available barrel, and it's heated by burning cashew shells. Cashew shells have a high content of oil and so are a good fuel source with a lot of energy. As much as possible, we try to use locally available equipment in order to model a feasible startup business. The business is organized as a partnership of 3 local entrepreneurs, Siaka Nyaga, Mamadou Mani, and Armando Damfa. Eastern Mennonite Missions provides the partners with financing, business coaching and consultation, as well as facilities and equipment for rent. 10 people are currently employed by the business. After the cashew nuts are steamed, they're laid out in the shade for 12 to 24 hours so that they lose some humidity. And then they're brought into these machines, these manual machines. This is Bobo, who's working here. He is operating the machine with his hand and a foot pedal. 2 blades come together, they split open the shell and pop out the kernel. After the cashews are shelled in the manual machine, then the workers use a hand tool to pick out the kernel from the shell. The manual machine just opens up the shell, and then this hand tool is used to pick the kernel out of the shell, as Mamadou is doing here. After the nuts are shelled and picked, we take them to the other side of the village where our drying oven is. Come with me as we walk over. This is our drying oven. We've built it on the other side of the village because this is the location that we hope to move to next year at our new facilities. This is Armando who works here. So basically the purpose of this step in the process is to just bring the nuts up to a higher temperature to dehumidify them, to dry them. It helps them to last longer without spoiling, and it also prepares the kernel to be peeled. It loosens up the peel and just makes it easier to peel with the knife for the next step. After the kernels are dried in the oven, they're brought to the peeling station. Here the workers use a locally crafted knife to remove a paper-like peel from the kernel. They then separate the kernels into wholes and brokens. Tomorrow we'll come back here to see the workers perform quality control and pre-sorting. After peeling, the kernels are taken to pre-sorting and quality control, and that's what the workers are working on here today. So quality control involves if the workers find any peels that are stuck to the kernel, small pieces, they pick that off with their knife. At this point they also sort out any rotten or spoiled kernels. So for pre-sorting, they sort the kernels into 5 different categories: whole kernels, splits, butts, small pieces, and scorched. After pre-sorting and quality control, the kernels are put back into the drying oven briefly to disinfect them after they have been handled through the processing steps. The kernels are loaded into bins and taken down to the capital city, Bissau, where our business is a member of a cashew processing association named ATC. ATC helps start up cashew processing businesses to perform the final processing steps and to export their product to international customers. At ATC's central processing facility in Bissau, each business's kernels are fully graded into over a dozen grades, vacuum packaged, and loaded into 50-pound cardboard boxes. The association loads combined shipping containers with kernels from each participating business and exports them to customers in Europe and America. ATC forwards the income to each participating business according to the grades and quantity of nuts they exported, minus grading, packaging, port, and dispatcher expenses. The nuts are exported as dry white kernels. The buyer is responsible for roasting, seasoning, and packaging the nuts for marketing and consumption. ATC hopes to see 30,000 tons of processed white cashew kernels exported from Guinea-Bissau each year. It's a lofty goal, but we join with them to work towards that end. We at Eastern Mennonite Missions, not only do we work with local entrepreneurs who are processing and exporting cashews through ATC, but we're also working at connecting ATC to American buyers. This cashew processing business has potential for expansion, but of course it depends on the vision and initiative of these local entrepreneurs. Of course, we look to the future with hope as we continue to explore Guinea-Bissau's greatest resource. So we hope that you've caught some vision for cashew processing in Guinea-Bissau, and I'm sure that next time you eat a cashew nut, you will have a greater appreciation for the work that goes into it.
Ubangea